everybody, it's Michelle, and I've got some products to show you guys today. I was contacted by a company called Inloveartshop. They wanted me to try out some of their products to review for you guys, and this company specializes in clear stamps and dies, and you guys know I love those. And their clear stamps are silicone, and I'll just tell you guys straight off the bat, that was a little off-putting for me. Of course, I wanted stamps in photopolymer, so I told them I would order some of their dies to try. And I went ahead and got some dies, and I thought, well, I'll try out one stamp, and I chose a background stamp, and I'm pretty happy with it for a silicone stamp. So we'll go over these and show you guys. They do have lots more stamps. I just chose one because I was a little reluctant with the silicone. And I've got lots of dies here, and we're going to try these out. I told them I would do a video for you guys if I found that their products were satisfactory, and I have. I don't want to show you guys anything that I don't stand behind, and I have actually received products from some companies before that I never did a video for because they simply were no good. But I think these have turned out to be pretty good. I went ahead and tried them before I started the video, and I'm going to show them to you guys. And since we have lots of dies and one stamp, I'm going to show you guys the stamp first, and we'll see a little bit about how that's going to perform for us. So I'm going to pull in my Misty here, and the Misty actually helps the fact that it's a little bit of a, well, I don't want to say lower quality, but it's silicone, and I do prefer photopolymer, but the Misty helps with that. However, I would really suggest using the Misty with any background stamp because it covers so much area that you're going to want to re-stamp anyway. So to have that held into the same position every time with your Misty is helpful with any background stamp. And this is sized to fit the mat of an A2 card. An A2 card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've got that here. And this is actually 4 by 5 1/4. So this would stamp the entire background of a mat to go on top of an A2. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive runner, and I'm going to put that down there. That way it can hold our card base in position because, well, this is just an A2 sized panel, actually, not the full card base. But this is another tip for any background stamps that you use in your Misty. I like to kind of use the adhesive rather than tucking it into the corner or holding it down with my magnet. I like to put a little bit of adhesive under there so that I know it's held down into the same place, which you still may have to make sure that within that your background paper here is in the same spot. So that way it's in the center. If you get it close to the edge, when you get your stamp inked up and you close it and you mash to make sure you press that image onto your paper all around on that large coverage area, if you're too close to that solid edge, you can't mash in very well. So I like to get out here in the middle where it will deflect a little bit and let me press on that stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my stamp off of there. And you guys can see I've been trying it out a little bit. I used a black ink on it, and it did stain a little bit, but I'll just tell you, I'm not too worried about that because sometimes even the highest quality stamps will stain. But what concerned me most is see how it stretches and it doesn't hold its shape exactly. It can kind of warp on you. And a lot of times when you press those, they'll just kind of smush and blur your image. And even though this is kind of stretchy and silicone, I really didn't find that it blurs too much. So that's why I decided to go ahead and show you guys this because I'm really pretty happy with it in the long run. So I'm going to center that on my panel. And if we were using this on a card, which today I'm just going to be showing you guys the products and not really doing a project yet, that'll be maybe in some future videos. But I'm just going to center that in my panel there, and you could stamp your image there and leave your unstamped border, or you could trim around the edges of that and then mat that piece onto a full A2 card base. So I've got it centered on there the way I want it, and then I'm going to close my Misty door and pick that stamp up, and I'm going to ink that up. I'm just using my tumbled glass distress oxide ink. And when you're covering a lot of area here, you want to kind of maybe wiggle your ink onto there. You don't really want to scrub it on, but maybe just a little bit of a wiggle will help ink up that large area. And like I said, with this large area, you're going to want to restamp anyway with any background stamp that you've got. So let's see what we get on our first impression. And look at that, you guys. That's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good first stamp. And you can see some of here the ink that didn't transfer. Just go ahead and give that another try. And with our card held in place, we can go ahead and ink that up a second time. And I think that time around did it really nicely. That is a really good image. So silicone or not, I think I really like that stamp. And I probably will be willing to try some more of their stamps. I wasn't really sure how well a silicone stamp was going to do, but that is great. Just be sure where it does have a little bit of stretch to it, just be sure that you've got it held firmly. If you don't have a Misty, then you can be sure to lay your stamp on what you're stamping it on first, and then pick that up with maybe a large acrylic block. Or not even large if you guys are just getting regular stamps, but I chose the background stamp. So I'm happy with that. I'm really pleased with the background stamp. Let's try some of the dies, and I'll go through and show you guys some of the dies that I chose. And here is a coffee mug set. It's got this very large coffee mug, and I really like that. That's probably one of my favorite dies now. I love this. And then you've got you, the ampersand, me, and coffee sentiments. And these will cut apart. There's the word and then also the shadow die for all of those. And then we've got two different little steam swirls there, two different labels for the cup, and then a heart. And I like this cup because you can actually just go ahead and cut the handle off if you wanted it to be like a to-go cup or something like that, or you can have the coffee mug with the handle, and it works really great. And I love that one. That's one of my favorites. And here we've got a whole set of border dies. There are 7 border dies total in there, and it looks like they cut out as well as emboss a design within that, so we'll give that a try. And this one here, I was kind of impressed with this because when it arrived, it had cutouts already in there that had been cut out with the die. And this is a number set, and it's got 0 through 9, all of the numbers that you'll need. And these were already in the package, and it looks to me that they have cut out absolutely perfectly. That is so crisp. And we'll go ahead and run it through the Cuttlebug too and try it. Of course, my Cuttlebug is getting a little worn out. I have really done a lot of die cutting with my Cuttlebug. It's one of my favorite tools in the craft room, and I need probably some new plates for it. So, and then this one here is the components to build a little cartoon cat character, and I think that's going to be so much fun. So then all the rest of these are really the main reason that I wanted to try some of these products from Inloveartshop. This one here is actually 4 separate dies that I'll have to cut apart. It's little wreaths. Like here's a wreath with some, I don't know what those are meant to be. Here's a wreath with hearts, a wreath with leaves, and a wreath with berries. And you could use this set and create so many different wreaths for any occasion all year long. But the rest of these are large, and that's what I love. Sometimes it kind of drives me crazy that the entire paper crafting world sort of revolves around an A2 size card. Sometimes you want to do larger cards or scrapbook layouts, and I love these large dies. And let's see, this one here is about 7.5 inches tall and about 5.25 wide, or vice versa, whichever orientation you decide to use that. And then here is one that just cuts out some open design work without cutting out an entire piece, and I think that's really cute. And the entire cutting area of the die is about 7 3/4 long by about 1 3/4 wide, just for that cutout area. So very large. And this one here, let's see, about 8.25 inches long. This one here is my favorite of all the ones that I chose. And I want to take it out and show you guys. Look at the beautiful daisy shapes and the swirls and the little sparks. I think this is so pretty. And it is huge. It is about 9.25 inches long. This is huge. So you could do some really large cards. You could do scrapbook pages. So many different things with these large dies. I don't like that everything is like this big. You know what I mean? Some of those are cute sometimes, but I like to do paper crafting beyond A2 cards, like I said, with scrapbooks and such. And I think these are wonderful. And this one here with the big frame, it cuts out the floral frame. That's rectangular shape there is a cutting edge. And then this one is a separate die that will clip out of there that cuts a panel to layer inside of that. So I think this is awesome. And let's see what size of a window we have here. Let's check that out. This outer one here is about 5.25. And then this inner panel is right at 5 inches by just over 2.5. So, you know, this would, you could take a large 3.5 by 5 or 4 by 6 photo that you have developed usually with your printed photos and fit that perfectly into there for the entire photo on a scrapbook layout. And it's a very large framed out image that would be a huge focal point on your layout. I really like that. So let's try some of them out and see how well they cut. This is half of an 8.5 by 11, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. And this goes beyond the edge of that. You could use this if you had the full 8.5 by 11. It would go all the way up one side of that. I'm going to go ahead and angle it sideways and tape that down. See if we can feed it through at an angle like that. I'm going to cut off my edges here so they don't get hung up trying to feed through my Cuttlebug. So we're just barely getting corner to corner on my plates here. Since I've got it taped in place, I don't want to go all the way corner to corner because I'm not getting good pressure that way. I'm going to go ahead and run it through with that part. In between my plates there, and then run the other half through. And I'm going to put a shim under there also, with just a piece of cardstock folded in half. And then run the other half through. Okay, and it looks like we've gotten a pretty good cut. Let's peel this off and see what we've got. Okay, so we've got the pieces that come out of the die that could be used, but there are so many separate little swirls. I think I want to use this mostly as an opening, maybe with inlay. I think I want to try these wreaths. And I think I'll do the one with berries and the one with leaves. I'm only going to be able to fit one on there. Let's do the one with berries. Try to center that up and run it through. And that one looks like it cut through beautifully. Yes, it did. Look at that. Pop that out. And then I'm going to have my die release tool to get that out of there because it's so intricate and delicate. And Inloveartshop did tell me that their dies are carbon steel, so that's a good thing. That's quality material. Like I said, even with the silicone on their stamps, seems to be pretty good quality. And there is your wreath with the berries. That cut out great, you guys. I'm really happy with these. Let's try this large frame. And I'm going to cut these apart. I love this large die, you guys. And again, I may have to do one end at a time. Now that I've found these large dies, I'm going to have to get me some long cutting plates. Since I'm needing new cutting plates anyway, I think I'll use this as a good opportunity to go ahead and get the long ones, because I can't wait to use these large dies on some projects. Let's see what we've got. And that panel pops out. And as you can see, this one is going to cut one slightly smaller. So you could do a little matting situation there. And when I use these in a project, I won't make you guys watch all the die cutting. I just wanted you to see it in this video so that you guys will know that they do cut out. And then there is that piece, which I don't know, if I had taken that out a little more carefully, we might could use that in some inlay when we get this out of here. But like I said, we'll do projects later on. I just want to check out these dies. And see, all of these little pieces are going to come out of that, and you're going to be able to do all kinds of inlay if you want to do that. And you guys can see how intricate that is. I think I may have distorted it a little bit getting it out I should have been a little more careful, but it cut all these little intricate frame shapes, and we can come back and poke those out of our die here, and then we'll have those. We can color these in with alcohol markers or anything else and have little colored flower designs and inlay that right back into the framework. And I'm actually just going to try out one more to run through the Cuttlebug for you guys, and that's this one. I want to see how it cuts out just that opening, just to make a little decorative design without really cutting it completely. I think little accents like that on cards are beautiful. So I'm going to tape that down right there. And then I'm going to turn that to run that other half through. Look at that, you guys. Look at those tiny, intricate pieces, and they all cut through completely. Just take your tool and poke those out. But they all cut through perfectly clean, and look at that gorgeous little swirly window. You guys, I think I really am in love with Inloveartshop. I am so impressed. I really, really love that. I love these dies. I even love the stamp that I didn't think I was going to love. Look what a nice image that stamped out. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below for you guys. I've got, after I clean up my mess, but I have had so much fun playing with these dies and the stamp. And I think you guys are really going to like them too. I will definitely be back with more videos using these after I get some long cutting plates. I cannot say enough how impressive that is, that it cut through with such an intricate pattern. That's amazing, you guys. Okay, I've got one more thing to show you guys that I feel a little obligated to tell you. What I was doing, I was in the process of putting together just some white cutouts so you could see how well everything cut, for some photos at the end to show you guys some of the intricate cuts that these dies do make. Since it was really kind of too many for me to show you all in one video, I just wanted to include some photos to show you guys how the cut turns out. And I ran into a little bit of trouble putting the cat character together, so I wanted to show you guys what I figured out about the dies for him. And you know, he was all different components that make up all of his parts that you put together to build the character. Well, one of the things that I wanted to point out to you guys was the eyebrows and the tip of the tail come completely loose. So I did have to put some tape on the back, as well as a little bit spanning across here to hold his head on, because it was just kind of close to the tip. But the main thing that concerned me was his face. It does not cut out like you would think. So since it's a little more complicated, I thought I would go ahead and get back on here and show you guys. There is this piece here, which is his ears and the side of his face. But it doesn't cut completely free, and neither does the piece that has the details of his facial features. So I'm just going to run this through to show you guys what I mean and what you have to do about that to end up with the complete piece. So I'm just going to run those through first to show you guys how it cuts with just one pass. And you can see here with this piece right between the eyes there is not connected, so that doesn't cut free. You can see it's still connected up there at the top. And at first I thought that was a mistake. But this piece here, the entire bottom of his face is open, so it doesn't cut free either. So here's what I figured out, and I'll just leave those eyebrow pieces in there. I just wanted to show you guys what to do about this. You have to cut this part of the face with the furry sides and the eyes first, and then overlay this die on top. And that's a little complicated. I'm not sure why it is that way, but this is how it works, so I thought I'd show you guys what I found out. And I'm just going to put this die, making sure that the edges that cut along the bottom are going to connect and cut what didn't cut loose that first pass through. And I'm scooting it up pretty close to the openings there for his eyebrows. And I'm going to tape that in place and run that through to finish the cut. Okay, so now after we run it through with that second die, I'm going to poke here with my die release tool through those holes and show you guys how it turned out. So this piece connected the bottom of the first piece. Actually, I missed it a little bit there, but that's how you end up with his full face. So if you guys get this die, I thought you would want to know that. And as you can see here, those do come completely out. Just remember that, and you'll have to put those together to piece that in like that. And then put a little double-sided tape back here so you can inlay those little eyebrows and they'll stick to that double-sided tape. Other than that, I think he turned out really cute. So check out those links below. I'm going to include links for every product that I've got here today. And be sure to check around on the rest of their website for all of their other products, because I expect that they will be of the same quality, and I'm really, really impressed. When I decided to choose some dies and go ahead and try out for them, I purposely chose some intricate ones because I know that is a true test of a die, because it's really difficult sometimes. So shop around, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a like over on my Facebook page, and be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll have all of those links in the description as well, so be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.